Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're doing another episode of Card of the Week, and this time we got Tidus. Emissaries of the Light is looking really good so far, I'm not gonna lie. So, let's talk about this card. Obviously, none of us saw this coming. Rochelle's here to tell us about this one, so we'll get into it. Tidus cannot be blocked. This is, by the way, 3 cost, forward, legendary, Cat 10, and the City of Final Fantasy, which I don't think has played a part in anything yet, but we'll see how that turns out in the future. When Tidus is put from the field into its owner's deck, draw 3 cards. When Tidus is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, you may put Tidus at the bottom of its owner's deck. When you do so, choose a forward your opponent controls, put it at the bottom of its owner's deck. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, so this card is going to be super annoying all the time. If water earth decks and water fire decks weren't annoying enough, because they're mostly EX heavy and super, controlling, the ability to draw extra cards is going to be absurd, or just get in ridiculously amount of damage for free, right? Because he can't be blocked. There's no stipulation other than Tidus cannot be blocked. So, very interesting card, very interesting. Rochelle talks about being able to draw cards and stuff, and could be good to pair with Kimari. I kind of agree with this too, and the reason is mainly because as easy it is to remove him, because you can just target him with anything, and he'll, yes, he will draw your opponent cards, but it removes the forward from the field automatically. Kimari is something that kind of lets you have to deal with him a little bit longer, right? So in a turn where you have things to remove him, you can play Kimari, and then that way they can't target him right away. So, because it says the character, other than Kimari, you control cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons, and the Job Guardian, other than Kimari, you control cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities, right? So pretty much everything that sends him back. Also talks about protection with Amaterasu, Shtola, and how easily he can be removed with board wipes. And I'm actually really happy that she brought up Amo. I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but I've been preaching about Amo for a little bit now in some of the old water videos. When Monks was really relevant, this card was really strong. And now that you can abuse it a little bit more in a situation where I can force you to hit my Tidus, let me draw 3 cards, it's very good. So, very strong card, I think. I've always liked it. Obviously, we can just talk. We're just gonna take it out now too. Obviously, Amaterasu hits this, but what card these days doesn't Amaterasu stop, right? So we probably won't even be mentioning that anymore. But all in all, it's a very strong card. I love it. I love the art. So my biggest thing too is that I'm gonna go over to FFTCG really quick, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but these cards, character editions, I think it's the same, right? No, this is Kumiko, and this is another one, right? So these are all original arts for these 10 characters. I'm really hoping we get them like full art, because for the Avalanche Shinra deck we got 2 like full arts with non-foil full arts, and then the foil is in the set. So I hope they make these full arts eventually, because we're gonna need them to go with the pair of this, with this Tidus, assuming we're playing the full 10 deck, right? Water-based 10 deck. Obviously, you guys know the starter's already out on FFTCG, but I just brought out a few cards here that maybe we could talk about. The Auron and the Kimari, as well as having a Charlotte, would do the same thing, right? If you want to protect Tidus an extra turn, if your opponent is at 6 and next turn you want to attack with him, something like that, you bring out cards like this to protect him. Obviously, he's super easy to search. I left the Sildra, the brother, and the Merlewib here. You're not going to have a problem finding him either. I left Amo here as well, because those were my thoughts before I continued reading the article. And Typhon. If you control 3 or more win backups, Typhon will become super. But when he enters, choose 1 forward. Doesn't matter whose. Put it under the top 4 cards of its owner's deck, right? Here's what's going to happen, right? You target, put him under your deck, right? Because he only goes to the bottom if your opponent targets him. And then you draw 3 cards, and then next turn you draw Tidus again. Seems a little loose, but I think that's where we are, right? Yeah, so obviously it's going to fall into the same colors of water, wind, water, and 10. So something to look out for there. It's going to be very strong. Obviously, water has cards to like recur this as well, and so does wind. So I don't know. The combination alone is going to be very threatening. I'm going to go straight into my pros and cons list here for you guys, so you know what I'm a little more, just so I can finish all my thoughts for this, right? Pros, draws and removes, right? He's going to draw you cards and get rid of something if it's targetable. It's an option. But sending things to the bottom is obviously already a big deal, right? Unless they're going to search it anywhere in the middle of the game, they're never going to see that card again. Also easily searchable, we talked that super amazing art, and then he might be an entire draw engine on his own, right? If you're playing multiples of these in a deck, every time you play him, you're going to eventually draw those 3 cards, I'm sure. And so what ends up happening is that you might be able to replace or just add him into most decks that you want to get your combo pieces out. And so he's going to be something that they need to deal with right away. And a lot of decks have a lot of mandatory like choose effects that people often overlook. And so leaving him as a floater will cause you to draw the cards you need right away. Cons, the deck out potential in your deck like increases drastically, right? If you look at just the one interaction, right, you're pretty much skipping a whole turn there, and a turn and a half, right? Because you're drawing 3 cards, and so, but you're also putting a card back into your opponent's deck, so that buys them a half of like a card, right? A half of a turn. When the numbers matter, this is going to be really dangerous to play. As well, as strong as it does have a downside, and I believe that's the biggest one. And then the other thing is that this is going to be a super big chase card. This is 10. Everyone loves 10. Like, it's, if I have to like categorize all the ones that everyone likes right away, it is 7 and 10 obviously first, and then 6 and 8 like right after that, and then everything else. And then so yeah, and it's really nice art too, so we're gonna expect it, and it's gonna be a very playable card. This might be so far the highest valued card of the next set. So just keep that in mind when you're pulling your packs and you're trading or selling. All right, guys. Anyway, Tidus is a fantastic card, and you know I'm gonna be playing him a lot. I already have some crazy ideas for this deck, but yeah, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And I think the only clue we have for next week is next week Kagami-san joins us with a beast of a reveal. So another monster maybe. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.